Alrighty, what's going on? It's Kevin Kenny. Welcome to the Build Series live here in New York City. And our next guest has been a superstar since he was 6 years old. He is a multi-platinum recording artist, a movie star, an entrepreneur, a media mogul. I'm going to say that. And you can catch him Thursdays at 9 p.m. on WEtv as a star of Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta. Let's make it loud in here on Build for Bow Wow. Now, Bow Wow's getting out here in just a second. Don't worry, I wasn't teasing you guys. But in case you haven't seen the show yet, it's awesome, and we got a teaser for you to check out at home right here. All right, please welcome Bow Wow to the stage.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. That was intense.
That was intense, man. That's quite the note to kick off on.
That was intense.
You know what I really respect about you, though, is we saw that clip right there, right? Probably not your proudest hour, probably not your proudest moment.
Definitely not.
But you may not know, you're the executive producer of the show, or one of the EPs of the show.
Yes.
So, you know, you have the power to say, you know what, let's not put that to air. I think the transparency and the honesty that you have with this show is tremendous.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to show. I mean, that was the main reason for me even doing it, is the fact that I watch so many other reality shows, and when you watch them, it's like, okay, y'all set this up. Like, who wakes up that glammed up at like 7 a.m.? It's like, it's so fake and it's so scripted. With us, this isn't scripted. Like, that was not supposed to happen, but it happened. Like, and that's the dynamic of Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta, is the fact that that's how I run the show. You know, I want it real. How can it be reality TV? I mean, real was in reality, so how can it not be real? We don't do nothing set up. And that's what makes this show so fun to watch, is the fact that it's real, it's authentic, and I think that's what people want to watch nowadays. Is they want real, and that's what we're giving them.
Is there anything therapeutic about it, like leaving, you know, comparable moments like that one right in the show? Like, you know, sometimes it takes the perspective of another friend to kind of tell you how you're acting or how you're coming across. Do you get that a little bit when you watch it back?
Yeah, when I watch it back, I think this episode that comes on tomorrow, I actually like dive back into moments like when we were shooting, and it's like, dang, it's like, you know, the relationship between me and my girlfriend. It's like, now I'm single, we're no longer together. So when I watch some of these moments, it's like, damn, I wish I can go back and like fix that. Or it's like, man, but it's over now. Like it's you know, we're living in the now. I can't go back in the past, but definitely there's some times that I'll watch certain clips or I'll see certain scenes, and it's like, oh my God, like how did they edit that? And even though I'm the EP, they still do a good job of cutting and making things like appear. It's so dope how they put it together. But yeah, there's a lot of time. Every week, every Thursday, I'm like, oh my God, why would they put that in there? It's like, yeah, it's crazy.
Well, you talk about living in the now. You talk about the ex, you know, that being over. You think that's over for good?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why are you so confident on that?
I just told a friend this. I think that in relationships, you know, I'm different. Like, I'm a savage. You know what I mean? Like, in a crazy way, because it's like, there's not one ex that I ever, like, once we break up, I look at it like we broke up. It's time for me to just continue on my life, get over you, and I keep it moving. So it's been like, I haven't talked to my ex in a month and a half. I haven't seen her in a month and a half. I haven't reached out to her. She hasn't reached out to me. So it's kind of like, once you leave that much space in the let's get back together time, I just think it's over, because there's no telling like who she's been with. I know if you follow me on Instagram, I'm partying like every night. I'm getting all kind of like notices on my condo from like the building about the noise complaints from 2 a.m. to like 6 a.m. So yeah, I don't think she want me back. I've been having a great time being a single man. Yeah, I have. I've been
well documented great time, for sure.
Yeah, very much so.
What do you think the move is? I want to get your advice when you break up with somebody like this, especially two people that are in, you know, public positions as you two are. Is it an immediate unfollow on social media? Do you got to hit that unfollow like the next day?
I think it's funny because do we get into that?
A little bit on the show.
Yeah, you know, we do. I think it's tomorrow's episode that we talk about that. But I was the person to do the unfollowing first. I was like, I'm not going out like that. I said, I'm not going to have her block me, or I'm doing it first. And I did it. And I knew once I did it, I knew it was just gonna send her off, and it did. And you know, here comes the tweeting, and here comes the her doing interviews about me, and I just kick back and just laugh, like, you know, I'm like, well, that's what you're supposed to do. That's, you know.
But when you unfollow her, and be honest here, right?
Yeah.
We got some of your biggest fans in attendance. Be honest. Is there a little bit of you that is doing that for the reaction? Like, you hope she kind of does these interviews and starts talking about you, or are you really trying to cut ties for real?
No, I'm trying to cut ties.
Really?
Like, I'm trying to cut ties. Like, once I don't follow you, that's it. Like, I'm not going to block her. I would never block her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not blocked from her page. She blocked all my boys, though. Like, all my homies that's on the show, she
You
blocked.
might pop up in theirs, you know?
Yeah, she blocked all of them. But still,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand the point of blocking somebody. You can just create, like, a ghost page and still watch the person. You know what I mean? So, but for me, I haven't been on her Instagram. I don't look at it. I don't go on it because the type of person I am. Like I said, if I'm moving forward, I'm moving forward. If I keep going back, then them feelings gonna come back. It's like I'm trying to continue on my life, so I keep it moving.
Quite the discipline, man.
I mean, I helped her out. I mean, that's enough.
She's on national television every week.
That's enough. Yeah,
for real. I heard you say recently in a radio interview, I think you were with Jermaine too at the time, and you were like, somebody like you who's been so successful for so long, you can kind of get whatever you want, materialistically, but really what you're after, and I don't know when you realize this, is true love, and it's been the hardest thing for you to find.
Yeah.
Do you think being a self-admitted savage, do you think that's sort of hurting your chances of finding true love a little bit?
I think that women love honesty.
Yeah.
And the thing about me is I'm honest. Like I've tried, I've been engaged twice. I have a almost 8-year-old daughter. She's 7. I try to work things out with her mother. So it's not like I haven't given it a chance. Like my ex-fiance, like her son lived with us. So I tried the whole family thing, me, her, and her son. And it's just like, it's like not comparing it to food, but when you try different foods, like you're going to know what you like and you'll stick to it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. And it's kind of like, that's just not for me. Every time I get in a relationship or I get with a girlfriend, they're either insecure or they just don't understand my line of business when it comes to entertaining. Separating Shad from Bow Wow, they all have a hard time doing it. And what it does is it starts to affect my work. You know what I'm saying? It starts to affect how I work, how I operate. I'm in the club. I can't be as social. And I'm a social person. I'm an entertainer. I got my road manager and they're like, yo, you can't just sit up in the corner of the club. They just gave you like $50,000 to walk through. You just want to sit in the corner and not do nothing and just drink a couple of Ciroc shots and go home. That's not going to work. I need you to get on the mic. I need you to pour shots in the girl's mouth. I'm like, yo, dog, listen. But when I get back to Atlanta, I'm going to have a whole heap of arguments. And it's like, I just realized I can't do that. It's a sacrifice. And I chose this life. I chose to be who I am. So therefore, it's kind of like, I got to be available. Not just saying available for women, but just available for my hustle, be available for my career because this comes first. And if I do end up getting into something else, they got to understand that. They just got to understand that you cannot come in between what I do. You got to either jump in the car, roll with me. You can't jump in and try to stop it because this is a moving train. We're going to keep moving. Yeah.
You've always been excellent, though, to this day, about putting business ahead of personal feelings. You're even making music with your ex in this episode.
Yeah, it ain't going to never come out, though.
But you're in the studio. It sounded pretty good on the episode. But no, or even just having her on the show. You could have cut ties. You could have just recast. You could have just whatever, changed up the lineup, what have you.
Yeah.
Where does that come from, though? Is that a lesson that somebody in the game taught you? Is it just because it's tough to do, man? To not be spiteful, want to just stop a bag, if you will.
I was spiteful.
Yeah.
While we were shooting, yeah.
Okay.
Like, the last episode that aired, she decided to go to the islands, and I decided to stay home in Atlanta, and all my boys threw like this crazy pool party and all this wild stuff. Actually, that's this episode that's coming on tomorrow, and it's just like I said, for me, I'm just real. I'm real. I can be petty, but at the same time, it's like we're already in the motion of shooting, and it's like let's just keep going. Like it is what it is. I live my life in the open. You see what you get, and that's just what it is. So, no, I definitely wanted everything to be how it was. I wanted to showcase everything. And on top of that, people ask me so many questions. So it's kind of like, just watch the show. You got all the answers right there. So I didn't want to leave anything untouched.
Yeah, that's well said. I wanted to ask you, you're a fascinating guy in terms of just, again, how successful you are, but you really are, like, you put your heart out there on this show. Yeah. You're having lunch with Jermaine's daughter, I think in the episode that airs tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you're saying, you're like, I'm looking on IG and I'm seeing my ex at the time of the taping,
right.
and I miss her, and I want to reach out, but your ego just won't let you. And I'm curious, as a guy, not to keep harping on how successful you are, but as a guy who, like, I think it's fair to say could afford to put his ego aside and reach out and be vulnerable. Why do you think, like for real, why do you think it's so hard for you to be vulnerable?
My ego. Simple as that, my ego. It's like, I'm not about to reach out to you. Like, what did I do wrong? Like, I didn't do nothing. And it's like, you know, to her, she's probably like, well, what did I do? I didn't do anything. It's like, okay, cool. Well, we just going to see who going to hit who first. If nobody hit nobody, then I guess it's what it is. I'm just going to ride this off into the sunlight and just call it a day. And that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I just don't have time for certain things. And it's like, you know, and pride is in the way as well. I have a lot of pride, and my ego is crazy. So I think those two things play a big factor into why I didn't want to reach out. It's like, I'll watch you, I'll see you. It's like, damn, I want to. But actually, when we broke up, I'm the one who actually sent the message I sent the double tap. You know, I liked it, a video. You know, women, they like the double tap. If you double tap, that means, you know, you watching. So I did that, and that sent it off. So when she came back home, she was like, oh, my God, I saw you double tap, and I was, like, doing it to, like, I was turning up, and I was doing that to get your attention. So I'm so glad that I did. I'm like, yeah, okay, I knew you did. That's why I did it. So, you know, yeah, so once again, ego and pride. But I'm a fun guy, though. Like, if you grow to, like, know me, if you're around me on a daily basis, you'll understand that I'm a fun dude. All I like to do every day, if I get a chance to, if I'm not working, I love to party. Like, I love to be around people. I love 50 people in my crib. I love to just turn up and have fun. That's me.
Serious question. How many of those Ciroc shots did you take before you double tapped?
Tomorrow's episode, you'll actually count how many.
Count along.
Yeah. It was a mixture of Ciroc and Deleon. So for those that don't know, that's Ciroc, which is vodka. Deleon is tequila. Listen, it was a rough week. That breakup was a rough. I was in a dark place, yo. That's why I'm always scared when I fall in love, because everything has an expiration date to it. You know what I'm saying? You got couples that have been together for 60 years, and you know, maybe the husband passes away or the wife passes away. That's an expiration date. Your significant other is no longer there. We all have an expiration date. And anytime I get in a relationship, it's just crazy. I'm like, I got to be prepared for the breakup. Anytime it can just happen. If she do something, that can hurt me. Or if I do something that's going to hurt her, like, I just got to always mentally be prepared for the worst. That's why I stay prepared for the worst. Yeah.
You think about that in life? Like, you have that on your mind? Like, is that why maybe you go so hard? Is that just expiration date we all have?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think about it much so to say to that point, but yeah, I'm always prepared for the worst. You know, I'm always like prepared. Like when I had to come to New York and I didn't look at the weather, I just knew to take a coat. I'm like, I just got to be prepared. If it's cold in Atlanta, it's got to be freezing in New York. So it's like I'm always ready. I'm always ready.
Really interesting, and this might be tomorrow's episode too. Kelly Price stopped by. That's tomorrow's too.
It's tomorrow.
So it was cool to see her pop up and help out Lil Mama on her singing. Lil Mama, just to set the scene, she wants to get more involved with singing than just rapping. And I was curious, she's struggling in this episode with becoming comfortable in the booth, you know, not freezing up, the nerves not getting the better of her. Is that anything you ever struggled with in the studio, whether it was delivering your raps, to anything like that? Did you ever struggle with nerves in the studio?
I've never been nervous in any studio.
Okay.
And I never step in the booth. Never step in the booth. Like I said, if you follow me on Instagram, if you see how I record, you'll know I record sitting down. And I keep the mic, like, right here. And I sit down. And I'm right next to the mixing board. I control, like, my Pro Tools. If I'm not doing it, then my producer, Pippin, was on the show, then he's doing it. But if he's not in the room, if he's asleep because we've been up all night working, that's me going from mic to sliding over, pressing up the all the buttons, controlling the Pro Tools, record myself, deleting tracks, adding tracks. That's all me, like, doing everything. So I record myself, right? I don't make the beats because they would sound terrible, but everything else I pretty much do. But I've been out the vocal booth for the past 10 years. I think that's the old way of recording now anyway. I try to tell Jermaine that, but Jermaine doesn't listen, and he's, like, very stubborn until I went into his room in the studio, and he has this big old mic, like, right next to the mixing board now. And I'm like, oh, what is that? Oh, you don't go in the booth anymore? He's like, get out of here. Go back to your room. I'm like, yeah, exactly. So if you're still in the booth, that's, like, so outdated to me. It's very much old school. I don't even think Jay-Z records in the booth. I think I seen him on tape, like, next to Rick Rubin recording right there with the mic, yeah.
So you said about 10 years ago you made that switch. What prompted the switch?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
I mean, of course you asked, so I got, okay. It's going to sound funny, but this is the truth. And I even started writing differently because of this artist. And it's Soulja Boy. Yep.
He went off.
We recorded a mixtape together when I was in LA, and I saw how he was working, and it was just so unorthodox. And I was like, how is he, like, I never recorded that way. He was like, yo, dog, you gotta start recording like that, man. It's just a new way of recording, man. It's faster. You know what I'm saying? It's just a new way. And how he was doing it was he wasn't in the booth. He had the mic right in his living room. He'll just be going, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Stop. I'm ready. Keep going. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Stop. Go. Wait. Don't like it. Bring it back. Wait. Let's go. Da-da-da. I'm like, verse done in 3 minutes. I'm like, what in the world? And then when he played it back, I'm like, that's crazy. So I just took what I saw and I just put it into how I rap and how I do my thing. And then I said, okay, cool. I'm going to go bar for bar. And when I started doing that, that's when I started getting better. You start really thinking the words through. And it's just like writing it down, except you get a chance to, like, if you can write it, you can say it. So instead of writing it all out, and then when you read it, it doesn't even sound the same when you read it anyway. You know what I mean? So if you just sit in front of the studio and you just started saying it, it just sticks better. You believe it, and it sounds good, and it's clear. You know what I mean? So I stole it from Soulja, by the way. So Soulja, I stole that from you. Yeah, I did. That's true.
All right. Well, speaking of booths, I saw you talking crazy the other day. I gotta just ask you about something.
I'm always talking crazy.
Anybody watch The Basement back in the day? Yeah, some hands. Okay, only 2. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you. Shout out to you guys.
Oh yeah.
Now I heard you were on the radio, and you were saying that you feel that you have the best freestyle in basement history.
Definitely, if not the one, definitely like top 2.
Really? Sure. Okay. Why you feel so strongly about that?
The people said it. You know, I just think that that rap and how I did it. That's why when the Nicki Minaj, was it Barbie Dreams? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That's why when it came out, when everybody was going crazy, like, yo, she said your name in it, and I didn't hear it right away. When I went and heard the record, I was like, oh, this is what I did on The Basement. Like, I just did it with all the females, like all the hot chicks that I always wanted to, you know, be with.
Get to know.
Exactly. Like, I did the same thing. So, and it was the first time somebody did it since Biggie, really. So when I stepped in the booth with Tigger and I did that freestyle, it was just... It was crazy. Like, even on YouTube, if you read the comments, I'm like, yo, this is I hate to say it, I don't, but Bow might have, like, the best basement freestyle of all time. Like,
someone needs to put together, and I don't know who would do it, but somebody needs to put together, like, an authoritative list, right, of, like, the top 5 or top 10 freestyles of all time.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm in that one.
Speaking of Nicki, did you hit Nicki up, or did she reach out to you with that song? Like,
Nah.
on DM or anything?
Nah, I just think that what she did was, as an MC, she just took people who were... in her mind, you know, popular. Like, I'm sure it was guys that was probably hitting her. Like, how come you didn't put me in the song?
Oh, for sure, yeah. You know and it wasn't a knock or anything.
No, I loved it. I loved it. Like, I think that's what hip hop is about. It was a dope punchline. She was punchlining everybody, and I think it was a comedic record too. It was funny. Like, that's what hip hop has always been about. I feel like if you feel some type of way, if you want to, you know, go back and forth with Nicki over any bar. For that song, I feel like that's just childish on your part. Or you're looking for clout.
There's like puppets in the Hype Williams video.
Yeah,
it's a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Big time. Yeah.
Totally. Well, I wanted to just take a trip down memory lane. You have such a catalog of music videos. And I mean, I'm sure if we went around the audience right now, everyone has a different favorite Bow Wow video.
Yeah.
And back in the day, you know, you were guaranteed to get a couple things in a Bow Wow video. Of course, the track was going to be fire.
Facts.
The budget was going to be crazy, so the production was going to be out of here.
Facts.
And I didn't realize this next and final part of just a guarantee in a Bow Wow video until I was going back this week and looking at your catalog. There's going to be a girl on a phone.
Really?
Yeah, so I want to play a game right here live on Build.
Oh,
we are going to see if Bow Wow can guess the video purely based on the girl on the phone from the video. So you ready for this?
Wow,
There's a lot of girls on phones in your videos, bro.
For real?
Yeah, like for real.
Dang, I didn't know that.
So my buddy's in the back. Can we get the first image up? All right.
Oh, that's Let Me Hold You.
Wow, you knew immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
Okay, you want to share some memories as you go through these? Because you're 1 for 1.
Yeah, we shot this video in Atlanta, and it was took us forever. And this is when I put the legendary plait braids in my hair with the beads that I regret to this day. But yeah, #1 record. I had fun shooting it. We shot it in one house in like this crazy like historical neighborhood in Atlanta, close to Midtown. Matter of fact, it was very close to Midtown in Atlanta. So yeah, I had fun shooting this video.
That might not even be a cell phone. She's on the portable.
She's on the cordless. Do y'all have house phones still? For real? Man, I haven't had a house phone in about 8 years.
Yeah, since this video maybe.
Not even. Like, because everything now is cell phone. You know, if you live in a building, they can just call your cell phone. You can say, yeah, send it up. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I don't even have a house phone no more.
That's hilarious. All right, let's get to the second image right here. Second girl on the phone.
That's the My Baby video.
Yes. This is my favorite Bow Wow
That
video.
was my ex.
This was your ex?
Yeah, that was my ex.
And you put her in the video?
Yeah.
Now, that's the love interest throughout the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us, what are your memories of just doing that song with Jagged Edge? It's one of my favorites.
That we weren't in the same studio together when we did it. That Usher was originally on My Baby before Jagged was. That's something that nobody knows.
Wait, tell that story really quick.
Yeah, this is my third album. This is the first album that I did without Jermaine. And KP Kawan Prather, he was the A&R this project. Was really close to Usher. And when we did the record, mind you, the producers are the same producers that did Dilemma for Nelly and Kelly Rowland. So if you listen to this song really, really good, you'll hear the same snares. You'll hear everything. Like, oh my God, this song reminds me of Nelly's Dilemma. Same producers. And when we got the record, I said I want Usher on it. And Usher didn't even charge me, actually. He was just like, just tell him to give me a Hummer. Like he wanted a Hummer. So we ended up getting Usher the Hummer. Got Usher on the record. The record was phenomenal. Same lyrics, same everything, except it was Usher instead of Jagged. Couldn't get the record cleared. So that's how I called my big brothers in. Jagged came, they did the record, and no one knows until now. And the record was a hit, and there you go.
And then you said, Usher, give me back the Hummer, bro. This isn't cool.
No, it's all good. That's family. It was family. But it was devastating because I was like, yo, the dynamic of me and Ush would have been crazy.
That would have been out of this world.
I mean,
this is an iconic classic track.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, we got time for like one more. Let's bring up one more. What a one to end on. Do you know this one?
Wait, y'all gotta give me some time.
Okay.
Y'all sure this mine?
I'm pretty sure.
That ain't shorty like mine at all. You sure that's my video?
You tripping?
Oh, man. Yeah, that is. That was like a freestyle video. That's why this one threw me off.
Okay. Here, let's get one more.
Okay.
This is. You better know this one.
Oh, yeah. That's like you.
And then let's go to the last one right here.
That's Broken Heart. Wow,
Yeah.
yo, you're right. It's always a girl on the phone.
On the phone, man. That's why I wanted to end on the new single. It's crazy. I love it.
It is. It's insane. It's insane.
There's also, honorable mention. We couldn't get to it because the show is only so long.
Yeah.
Is you and Baby. Let's Get Down.
Yeah.
There's girls on phones in that.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're right.
That was like when camera phones first came out, man. You were flexing hard with that camera phone.
Oh, my God.
Just really quickly before we turn it over to the fans, tell us a little bit about Broken Heart because it's almost at 1 million views. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Really only a couple weeks online. Just the new record. Tell us about it.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a record that I had. It's weird when I write these breakup songs. They never happen while I'm going through a breakup. It's usually like if I just feel it, I can just go back 2 years or 3 years and tap into a relationship that I was in and just start writing about it. And then for some reason, when I get into a new relationship and I break up and it doesn't work, the record tends to be about the girl who I just broke up with. Like, it's almost like I speak my breakups into existence. It's the weirdest thing in the world. But pretty much, yeah, it's a song. It's self-explanatory, Broken Heart. It's about dealing with somebody you love. And, I'm always getting pointed at. It's always me, and in the third verse, it's kind of like, as the man, yeah, I might have did some dirt too, but don't act like you was just this innocent angel, like you wasn't out here doing nothing. And at the same time, this is a story about a girl who I put in the game. I showed you everything. I showed you this. You didn't know anything about nothing. And then when I put you on, now you starting to linger into the game. Now you dating basketball players now when you wasn't, you didn't even know how to get tickets to an NBA game. Now you sitting courtside because you messing with the star player now. But it's because you was with Bow first. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it's just another chapter of my life, and it just digs in with, personal stuff that couples go through. The video represents a lot of drama. We argue, verbally, and, just real stuff that you go through in a relationship.
It's a great track. Let's turn it over to the fans now. We got the first one coming up from the red couch. Where you at? Right here?
Hi, Belle.
What's going on?
What's next besides TV shows and movies? Because we need another album.
The album is coming. I'm getting ready to drop this new single called That Boy with this new hot artist named Kenny Money, who is the hottest artist coming out of Memphis. Like, Memphis has this wave right now in hip-hop, whether if it's Gotti, you got Dolph, you got Moneybagg Yo, you got Black Youngster, and this new kid, is like everyone's on this kid. Like Drake, everybody is trying to get this kid. And I was fortunate enough to get him early before he started charging $100,000 for a feature. So he has his new single getting ready to come out with Lil Baby, and our song is called That Boy. And it's the record that I've been searching for and looking for. Being in Atlanta is just, it's a wave of just this trap party sound. And I've been waiting for the right beat, the right structure. And what's crazy, sometimes if you can't write the record, I'll reach out to somebody and say, you know what, I need a hook. Like, I need this beat, but I need one of them stupid hooks. I need one of them dumb, stupid songs. And I'll do me from there. And I'm about to drop that probably like within the next 2 weeks. And that's really going to be the one that you're going to hear like all over the place. That's going to be kind of like the reinsurgence of Bow, whatever you want to call it.
Would you say it's more of that Memphis sound that's kind of coming up with Tay Keith and people like that, or is it more Atlanta?
It's straight. It's straight. It's stupid.
Yeah?
Like Atlanta, like it's undeniable.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's almost like it's gonna be like my 2019 Fresh as I Miss. I haven't made a Fresh as I Miss type. Yeah. It's Fresh as I Miss, but now with the new sound of how everything is going, it's me adapting. It's different. It's stupid. Right. If it wasn't my record, I'd be mad that it wasn't my record.
Yeah.
It's one of those. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
It's amazing. Great question. Thank you for asking that. All right, we got a second one on the mark right here. Where are we at? Right here? Cool.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much. What is your inspiration for your new album or your new music?
Life. My inspiration is just waking up every day and just talking about the stuff that I do. I think that's what hip-hop is about. You know, if you come up in the slums, you're going to talk about your growth. You're going to talk about everything you went through. And hopefully, as a fan, when you buy it as a consumer, you went through the same thing as the artist went through. That's what bridges the gap. That's what draws the connection. So for me, if you're a fan of mine and you've been watching me and you, since day one up until now, how I live my life, it's just everything that I go through, you know. Heartbreak records, you're going to get fun records, you're going to get some controversial records, being that, you know, I've been a little controversial as of lately, but you're going to get everything. But I get all my inspiration from life. That's where I get it from. When I travel, when I'm rapping about certain things, if you don't understand what I'm saying, it's like, go to Google, look it up. It's like just me. It's just a representation of just who I am. You know what I'm saying? So that's really the main inspiration from where I get my music or my thoughts from. No doubt, you're welcome.
Great question. Dude, you know what I meant to ask you about? I heard, you know, we're talking growing up hip-hop Atlanta. Mm-hmm. You're living in Atlanta these days. Is it true the first time Jermaine ever took you to Atlanta was with Jay-Z?
Facts.
So you tell it really quick.
We
are running out of time, but this is amazing.
Jermaine flies me down. Well, I was playing football at the time. This was after the whole death row thing had stopped. I told my mom I want to go back to school. I don't want to play. I mean, I don't want to rap no more. I'm cool. Don't want to do it. Auditioned for like Family Matters and, you know, didn't get no jobs. So I said, okay, cool. I just want to go back home. So I'm on the football field. I'm playing football. My mom's like, yo, come here. We're going to Atlanta tonight. I'm like, no, we not. Like, I'm not going to Atlanta. Like, I don't want to rap. When you're going to meet Jermaine Dupri, I'm like, who is that? Like, I don't even know who that is. And he was like, well, he founded Crisscross. I'm like, wrong mistake, because growing up, when I was with Snoop, I felt like it was my time. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really a big fan of Crisscross. I was a little hater. So when I finally got to Atlanta, Jermaine flew us down there, kept us at the Hyatt Hotel all day, gave me no per diem, no nothing, and just had to sit in the hotel. When I was checking in, I saw Jay-Z. And at the time, he looked familiar to me, but I didn't know because I was so heavily West Coast influenced. You know what I'm saying?
This is also like Money Ain't a Thing, Jay.
Exactly.
Which is very different
from that. Yeah. So this was like right at the turning point with Hov. So I'm like, yo, this dude checking in, and he was checking in himself. So yeah. So I'm like, yo, this dude looks so familiar, but I'm not about to go up to him. And then that night, Jermaine comes and picks me up in a Bentley, and I was like, yo, I've never seen a car with just a B on it. Like, what is this? And like the carpet in there was like real, like rabbit fur. Mel, you know, it was like real thick. I'm like, whatever this is expensive. He's like, no, this is a Bentley. And I'm like, okay, well, hopefully one day I'll be able to buy me one. And that night they had Money Ain't a Thing was on fire. It was the biggest record in the world. Like, and him and Hov had this show for V103, which is a popular radio station in Atlanta. And it's on YouTube. You'll see this little kid sitting on the stage in front of the DJ booth. And I'm like, give me the mic. I want to rap. And I get the mic. I say, I want to rap. And Jermaine said, you sure? I said, what? Came in the mic, started rapping. Jay-Z starts doing like all my ad-libs, like he's hype man to me. It's on YouTube. So if you type in Bow Wow, Jay-Z, and Jermaine, you'll see it pop up. Jay's wearing a New York Yankee jersey, Yankee hat. Jermaine's wearing like a Braves hat, and me, I'm just like this dirty little kid with these the long braids. Like I got the ASAP Rocky braids. They're like this long on each side. So that's how it happened. And that night was when they knew. And I remember Jay telling Jermaine like, "Hey yo, this kid like you got something with him." Like,
I mean, just to be 10, 11 years old and see Jay-Z and Jermaine Dupri tear the house down in Atlanta, in Jermaine's town, and for you to not be scared or intimidated, but go, yo, I want the mic next. That's crazy.
Yeah, I wanted it. Because I think that was the advantage I had, was the fact that before I even blew, I was already amongst superstars. I was already around Jay-Z before I became Bow Wow. I was already around Snoop. I was around all of these people. So that's why I was always just like the cool kid in the cut. Like, why? So it was nothing. So I was just waiting on my turn. I was ready to go.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. We have time for one final question. It'll come from right over here.
Hi.
Hey.
So what's the vibe like behind the scenes shooting the show?
Oh, what is the vibe? Very, you know what? All depends on what we're shooting. It all depends on what we're shooting. For instance, tomorrow's episode is the pool scene where they're trying to get me over my girl. I'm going through a tough time, so BT calls all of these models over to my house, gets all this Ciroc. Girls are twerking. They're like trying to get my attention, and I remember like we were just so like it was real. So like we're really drinking, we really partying. They trying to tell me turn the music down, like the people on set. And when they yelled cut, we was still going. So like the vibe, it all depends on what situation we in. If we doing like a club scene, like last weekend when I got in trouble, that was real. Like when I got in trouble at the club in last week's episode, that was facts. I didn't want to drink. I was like, I'm cool. And then they start putting all these girls around me they already know, and I start turning up. So it's like when they yell cut, I'm still going. It's like y'all done got me lit now, so why are we about to stop? Like I'm gonna just keep going. So the vibe is always lit. And if it's a crazy situation where somebody's fighting, or then you want to get the hell out of Dodge. Like, camera stop, it's an early day, and they're trying to, stop the chaos from happening, which is kind of hard to control, especially if it's Johnny shooting, if it's Johnny Blaze shooting, it's going down. It's going down.
It's a great question. All right, Bow. Unfortunately, we're at time, man. But again, thank you so much for stopping by, Bill. Today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And of course, you can check out the show at home Thursdays at 9 over on WEtv. Bow wow, guys, one time.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.